The Greensboro Police Department started an internal investigation after a video shows an interaction between officers and workers at a local towing company. WFMY News 2's Nixon Norman broke down the video and spoke to the business owner to get a better idea of what exactly happened.
The owner of Casey's Towing feels disrespected by Greensboro Police. He says it was a traumatic incident for his employees. He says he's just glad that no one was arrested. Casey's Towing has operated in Greensboro since 1986. Owner Anthony Broadway says his team often works closely with police, but an interaction over the weekend left him feeling like officers violated his rights. One of his drivers towed a car from an apartment complex in High Point. The next day, Greensboro Police showed up at Casey's, saying the warning signs weren't in the right place and that the car had been reported stolen.
The intimidation factor was crazy because it was more like, look, you know, we're here to take this vehicle. You done wrong. It's no questions asked, no nothing. Like, it was a very stressful situation for my driver.
Broadway says officers went onto the property and tried to take the car and return it to the driver. In video Broadway recorded, Greensboro Police say they were acting on information from High Point officers that towing signs weren't placed correctly. Broadway claims the signs were in place. These are photos he shared with us from the apartment complex. He says the driver who towed the car is having a hard time processing the altercation.
This is something that, you know, he done with his father who passed away, who taught him how to tow. And at this point, for me, it's very heartbreaking in that he's having to consider going into another field.
Toward the end of the video, Greensboro Police pulled back after a city attorney advised them not to remove the vehicle. Broadway says the driver ultimately had to pay to get their car back, and no one from Casey's was arrested.
If the city attorney didn't get involved, someone probably was going to jail that day, which is very unfortunate.
Greensboro Police said in a statement, in part, quote, "Police department leadership became aware of a video Sunday involving an interaction between GPD officers and a local towing company. The department immediately requested its professional standards division to conduct an investigation, which is ongoing at this time," end quote.
I'm a firm believer that, you know, I support the law enforcement for what they do, but I think that it should never be a situation where, you know, anybody that's at work should feel threatened and intimidated by the police when they're just doing their job.
At this time, Greensboro Police say the officers involved are still on duty. GPD also addressed a rumor going around that the car towed belonged to an officer's wife. The department says that is not true.